Following the first two videos on sisterhood, lovehood, and familyhood between the undercover members in the Black organization, we come to the last two undercover members. They are the ones who represent friendhood, Bourbon and Scotch. Like the Miyano couple and Hondo Ethan, the member Scotch only appears in the conversations and memories of other characters. His real name is Motofushi Hidemitsu, and his first appearance was in anime episode 836. In the last video, I said that the childhood of all the undercovers in the Black organization is not so perfect. At least one member of their family will be either dead or missing. Among these members, Scotch's childhood is undoubtedly the most tragic one. When he was a child, he experienced the tragedy of the murder of his parents. He was greatly dismayed and suffered from mild amnesia as a result. At the same time, he suffered from aphasia for a period of time. During this time, he and his brother Motofushi Takaaki depended on each other. After that, he was adopted by a relative in Tokyo, and his elder brother was adopted by a relative in Nagano Prefecture. From then on, the two brothers began to live separately. For Hidemitsu, he had lost his parents, and now even his brother had left him. These traumas made it hard for him to continue to live. It was until he met a little mixed-race boy named Furuyarei, and the two quickly became friends. Because of Rei's company, Hidemitsu overcame his trauma. Although he would still be shocked awake from that nightmare occasionally, he had become a healthy youth full of justice. In order to find the culprit who killed their parents, the Motofushi brothers decided to become police officers. After graduating from Toto University, Hidemitsu and Rei went to the police academy together, where they met Matsuda Jinpei, Hagiwara Kenji, and Tate Wataru. All of them worked together to help Hidemitsu find the man who killed his parents and arrested him. Then, 7 years ago, these 5 people graduated with top grades and entered different police departments. Motofushi Takaaki and Furuyarei entered the National Police Agency and received the training as undercover agents to join the Black organization. If there's any job in Detective Conan that is more dangerous than being an undercover, then it should be these 5 police officers. At least the survival rate is 60% for undercover officers, but the survival rate is only 20% for these 5 police officers. 5 years ago, Hidemitsu and Rei got their codenames in the organization, Scotch and Bourbon, and they both started to form a team with another organization member, Rai. 4 years ago, when Scotch was out on mission with Bourbon and Rai, he was spotted by a young Seda Masumi. When Rai was buying the return train tickets for her sister, Scotch taught Masumi how to play the bass guitar. After returning to the organization, Scotch's undercover identity was exposed. In order to protect the people he had a relationship with, Scotch destroyed his mobile phone when he committed suicide. Then, the damaged cell phone was handed over to their police academy classmate, Tate Wataru, by Bourbon, and a 0 was drawn on the envelope to indicate his identity. However, Tate Wataru died in a car accident 1 year ago, so this letter remained in the police station until it was in the hands of Hidemitsu's brother, Motofushi Takaaki, in anime episode 984. Regarding the status of Scotch in the organization and the reason why his true identity was discovered is still unknown. But according to the guitar backpack he was carrying during the mission, he was probably a sniper like Rai, and he is able to snatch the pistol from an A-rank combat ability Akai Shuichi, which suggests that his combat ability is not to be underestimated. If we're comparing the degree of mystery among the organization members, then Bourbon is definitely the most mysterious character among the 5 undercovers. The story regarding him is the 4th arc of Detective Conan, and it is divided into 2 parts. The first part starts from anime episode 509 to the end of episode 704. The second part is from episode 705 to the end of episode 783. His first appearance was in episode 563 as Scar Akai, and his first official appearance was in anime episode 667. Combined with the chapters of the Wild Police story arc, Bourbon's appearance frequency is about the same as that of Rai. His family background and ultimate goal have always been a mystery. I can only make some guesses about his past from his name and some of his actions. First of all, as a mixed race, his father is likely to be a Japanese person with a surname being Furuya, and his mother is most likely a foreigner. 19 years ago, after meeting Miyano Elena, he began to have a good impression or maybe admiration for this mature woman, and even intentionally hurt himself in order to meet her. Then, he met his childhood friend Hidemitsu. From what Hidemitsu said when he introduced Rei to his brother, it can be inferred that Hidemitsu first decided to become a policeman, and Rei only decided after he grew up. In the beginning, Rei's purpose was only to find the missing Miyano Elena, and then, I don't know why, he started to make it his mission to protect his country. There may be 2 reasons for this change, one of which is affected by his friend Hidemitsu, and the other is his family education. Rei's father may have some status in Japanese politics and is very patriotic, so he wanted his son to become a police officer in order to investigate an organization that is dangerous to the country. In order to conceal the fact that his son was Zero and prevent him from being discovered by others, instead of sending a son who had passed a professional examination to a police university, he transferred him to a district police academy. In this way, not only is the logic fluid, but also several plot loopholes can be explained. Some people may say that my deduction is based on a hypothesis, and there is no actual evidence to prove the real existence of this character. But in fact, a Japanese person with high power and a surname of Furuya has already appeared once, on the tourist list in anime episode 222. However, very few people noticed, because in the anime, the name became Nakatani Masaaki, and in the English version of the manga, they only translated the first name. Therefore, the actual data should be based on the manga made by the author. The first character in the Japanese manga is blocked out, but it can be confirmed from the shape that it is not Nakatani, but Furuya. There are also Sheri, Jin, and Vodka's names on the roster that Conan's looking at. Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is doomed. This is likely to be evidence that Bourbon's father followed the evidence of these major organization cadres. In any case, it is now Bourbon's character analysis, and I can't waste too much time on this family background, so I'll talk about it later. Furuyarei sneaked into the organization as Amada Toru with his friend Hiromitsu after graduating from the police academy 7 years ago. The pseudonym Amada Toru is very similar to Kiru's pseudonym Mizunashi Reina. The name Toru means blank and transparent when translated into English. In other words, it is zero. And the Rei in Furuyarei translates to zero. His position in the Japanese public security is zero, and his nickname when he was a child is also zero. This is why the movie about him is called Zero the Enforcer. As a career group character who graduated first from the police academy, he quickly obtained his own codename, Bourbon. In addition, according to Bourbon's actions, it can be seen that that person trusts him very much and is not under surveillance at any time like Kiru, and is able to often have close contact with Vermuth, one of the senior officials of the organization. This largely is a result of his abilities. The same A-rank combat ability as Rai, and the top shooting ability in the police academy. Coupled with a strong information gathering ability, it has increased his work in the Black Organization a lot, including the assassination operation in a team with Rai and Scotch, the investigation operation in a team with Vermuth, and the operation of finding traitors by himself. Compared to the Rai of 2 years ago, Bourbon is now the closest member in the center among the 5 undercover agents because he knows the relationship between Vermuth and the boss, as well as Rum's true identity. At the same time, in order to get closer to the center and become a cadre like Jean, who can have close contact with that person, he plans to arrest Rai, a traitor of the organization, who is also his enemy. The relationship between him and Rai is more beef than hate, because Bourbon knew that Scotch committed suicide, and Rai was just following undercover protocol like him. He complained about why Rai didn't prevent his friend from committing suicide, and Rai was sorry for this failure, and the two people just kept the relationship like this. It wasn't until anime episode 954 when Ram ordered Bourbon to investigate information about Kuro Shinichi. Then, Bourbon secretly copied the key of the Kuro house from Ran and sneaked into the house in the middle of the night. There, he met Rai, and the two of them finally met each other, face to face. But they were stopped by the Kuro couple before pressing their triggers, and they invited the two of them to have a cup of tea. Regarding the content of this tea event, it is still unknown. The only certainty is that this tea event will change Bourbon's behavior in the organization, because no one had ever doubted his true identity before the tea event, except for the one time from an original movie. But after the tea event, Ram began to doubt him, and Wakasarumi also looked at him strangely. In the important mission of hunting the FBI, the Black Organization dispatched almost all the cadres, including Kiru, who had been missing for 500 episodes, but Bourbon alone did not come. As the one who reported the death of Rai and was directly under Rum, Bourbon did not participate in this important battle commanded by Rum, which is quite strange. Therefore, from various perspectives, this tea event will ease the relationship between Rai and Bourbon and allow them to work together on a certain task. This task led Bourbon to take some bold actions in the organization, which not only made Rum doubt his true identity, but also made him doubt the Kuro couple. So he ordered Vermuth instead of Bourbon to investigate the Kuro couple, which is weird, because Bourbon should have already reported to him the investigation results of Kuro Shinichi, but it seems that Ram didn't totally trust this. So the highest possibility is that he personally began to investigate Bourbon, and then ordered Vermuth to investigate the Kuro couple. Following this logic, all the actions of Bourbon and Ram in the Ram arc are explained. So now, these are the 21 members who appeared in the Detective Conan anime, which is almost half of the total number of members. The following video mainly introduces the original characters in the movies and the characters in the special manga. And finally, cataloging all the information you most want to know about the Black Organization into a video as a finale, such as what is the standard and process of the organization's codenames, and a deduction of the organization's ultimate goal. If my guess is correct, there will probably be 11 or 12 videos in this Black Organization structure and member analysis series, so stay tuned for my next video.